Good evening, everyone. So today we have with us the team of Ajayante Randam Moshanam, aka A.R.M. The film is going to have a release next month in September for Onam. So welcome, team A.R.M. I'll just start with a generic question. So this has been a great year for Malayalam film industry, right? We have had a lot of hits, not just in Kerala. All those films have gone on to become hits across the world. But one thing very interesting is that all those films are come from belong to different genres as well. Like for example, we have a Premlu, which is a rom-com. We have an Avesham, which is a gangster comedy. Then there is a Brahmayugam, which is a horror film. Manjumal Boys, which is a survival thriller. So how do you see the success of films like that, like belonging to different genres? It's not like a mass masala film that only that is not getting the attention. All kinds of films from Malayalam is getting the attention. So how do you see the success of all these films?
And that's a very positive thing. When audience are receiving all genre of movies from Malayalam cinema, that's a very positive thing. And we have a mix of genres, so the possibility to be accepted will be much more.
Yeah, basically now they need something different.
Yeah.
So suddenly these all films were coming together in different genres in a 6 month. That triggered and everything was good, and that's why.
And I remember I watched Avesham from Erode. I was shooting for a movie named Identity in Erode, and that's when Avesham released. I went to a small theater in Erode, and it was packed. And only few of us were Malayalis, the rest of them were Tamilians. And it's not in Erode town also, it's a little bit interior. And the theater was packed and people were enjoying Avesham in Malayalam like it was a Tamil movie. Like full on enjoyment, everyone loved that movie. I could see from the reaction of the people.
Adding to that, I watched it on the second weekend in Mumbai, in Malayalam, and the whole theatre was packed. And I don't even think it was the second weekend, it was a weekday, third week or second weekend, I don't remember, but it was absolutely packed and people were enjoying.
So that makes us proud. Eh?
Yeah.
Cinema doesn't have this barrier of languages, it's visual.
Yeah.
Also shows that content is the king, right?
Obviously.
I saw the trailer yesterday and I felt like it's more of a period action film with some mythical elements or a legend, a bedtime story kind of a thing. And so what exact genre does A.R.M. belong to, or is it it's a type blend of genres?
Yeah, it's a blend of genres. Basically, we can say it like romantic,
Action, fantasy, magical realism, adventure, treasure hunt, maybe a little sci-fi,
horror.
mix up.
What exactly is the USP of the film, if you can pinpoint it to something like?
It's coming out in 3D, and that doesn't happen very often. And it's not coming out in 3D just for the sake of it.
There is a reason for
There
it.
is a reason for it. I mean, we are offering you a audio visual experience, not just the out of the screen experiences of 3D, but even when it's an emotional scene or a romantic scene, I mean, you'll be immersed in the scene. That's the whole idea.
So you want everyone to watch the film in 3D?
Definitely, that would be great.
Shot by shot, it's the same film, but then we feel like the 3D experience will make it much more. The audience will feel like you're involved in the scene, in the emotions, like through the emotions with the characters. So that makes the experience much better. And then, of course, our team has worked so hard on.
Yeah, the post-production took like a year, probably.
More
than
a
that.
year.
The audience and Tovino has fans all over, and everybody knows, the choice of scripts Tovino chooses, and in this there are 3 Tovinos.
Yes.
That is another USP, I would say, and there is so much variation between these 3 characters, and he's worked really, really hard for it.
And the T50.
Yeah, but that includes all the guest appearances, small characters, and supporting roles, villain roles. It doesn't mean that I have done 50 movies as a positive lead.
Talking about the 3 characters, 3 roles that you're playing in the film, must have been like playing 3 different films also, right? I mean, 3 characters.
Definitely. That's how I wanted to approach 3 different characters in this movie.
It's not just the physical transformation, you have to internalize the characters differently.
Exactly.
So
when they first, Sujithan and Jithin, when they first narrated me the script, the first response from me was like, why don't we cast 2 other heroes and I'll play one character.
And make it a multi-star.
Yeah, and it will be easier for us to do the business also. But at that time, it was in 2017, and they convinced me why I am going to do 3 different characters in this one movie, because the story, the screenplay demands it. It starts with one character, and his mission is being completed by the second and third character. I mean, in a span of 300 years. So, and all these characters are connected. I mean, that made sense. And the next thing I wanted was, let's approach it like 3 different movies, 3 different segments of the movie. Let's not shoot these characters sequences simultaneously. And they agreed to it. And years went by. I also was growing as an actor.
Yeah, you are not the same actor in 2017.
Exactly.
Right? Like you
and he is not the same director. He's not the same writer. They have written at least 25 drafts of the same script.
So the film became larger as the years
Yes,
passed.
they made this storyboard, pre-visualization. Around 40 minutes of the movie was already made in pre-visualization. And so I wanted to take proper acting training for this, because this is something that great actors like Kamal Haasan does, you know. That gives you this pressure or sense of responsibility that you have to put your maximum effort into it. So we worked on a workshop with Vinay sir from Adishakti. He came down to Thrissur. We stayed in a hotel next to my house, and we were eating from my house and coming back, discussing. So for 5 days, we read scripts many times, and we did exercises, we rehearsed, and we all together, we designed, because we wanted someone who knows the theory or grammar of acting to help us to create these 3 characters. And we designed these 3 characters, like how each of them walks, smiles, talks, even fights. And I was practicing Kalaripayattu already by then for this movie. Around 6 months I practiced it, because all 3 characters were, knows Kalaripayattu, but they use it in different ways. The first character is a warrior, second character is a thief, and third character is a tuition master. So they might be using it for different purposes.
So they fight differently also. So
Yes, exactly.
The action choreography also changed.
Yes, and we made sure that these characters have one basic emotion. I mean, first character was having Veera structure and the emotion within him. The base emotion was Veera. Second was Raudra, and third was Karuna. So whatever each character does, it will have a tint of their basic emotion. So, and how, I mean, one character's voice comes from the spine, and one's from the throat and chest, and one from the nasal. So when we are talking, we can, the pressure will be at these particular areas. So we fixed all those things, and we rehearsed it over and over. Then he got an idea how I am going to play it, and I got an idea how they are going to shoot it. So by the time we came to the sets for the shoot, we were on the same page, and we knew what we were going to do.
All these years of preparation, like
Definitely. And the pre-visualization video and storyboard, it was a great help for me. I got a clear idea of what he had in his mind, and it was something something huge than what I had in my mind. So that's why I had to put in so much effort.
So basically why I did was, if we having a script, we are any actor or technician were reading it, there are some images of what they watched earlier. So I need to show what in my head. That's why we created that pre-visualization. It's like a animated 3D film like kind of thing.
so that was shown to all the actors or
Actors and the technicians, so they will be knowing what kind of color palette I am needing,
And what scale
we need, and the production design.
okay. So the entire film was made in
No, there are some complicated sequences that is like 40 minutes of something. So that's what we created in pre-visualization. It's created usually for Marvel films and all. They create all these things in a studio called third floor. So we can't spend that much of amount for a foreign studio. So we have collabed with a new team, and they generated that thing in Unreal. It's a free software. It's a gaming engine. So it was very easy for artists to understand, my crew to understand. I can cut 10 minutes and I can say I'm shooting 5 days, this 10 minutes. So everything is very
The planning of the shooting also
Yeah.
became easier.
easy, and also the number of days can be reduced.
The more you sweat in the practice, the less you bleed in the battlefield.
Yes.
He knows what he wants, and that is already there, and he makes us understand, this is what he is planning to do. So, we are on the same page.
Basically, on paper I was safe. So what I need to do is to
Execute.
enhance that visual storytelling. Already it's on paper. So that's what I did.
So Sujit, so this script was, I mean, you narrated the script to him in 2016 or before that, 16, right? And this is his first film also, right? So it's been 8 years since. And what kept you with this same project for 8 years? Like, did you ever think of making another film and making an entry into the industry first and then
I actually asked them,
doing a
why
film
don't you
like
do a
this?
smaller film?
Yeah, exactly.
So that you can enter into the industry, then plan this as your second one. He said, no, I'll work on this script.
So this is your dream debut project, like.
Yeah.
The patient and the dream are combined, and then he joined. So it's basically patient, and we were not idle.
Yeah,
So
they
we
were working on it.
and basically the script changed. Corona came. We started watching many things. Then our mind also evolved. Lot of the audience perspective changed.
So the
it's
film
all-
kept changing with all that.
Although he is a newcomer, he had 8 years of experience
Experience.
in this particular movie.
And you worked with Basil Joseph as an assistant director in Goda and Kunjira
From
Manam,
Basil's
Minnal
short
Murali.
films days, he was an assistant director.
I was a software engineer, so I was working in Technopark, and Basil was working in Infosys. Then I heard, watched.
So you've just both quit and then started making short films. Great. So you worked in Minnal Murali as well, right?
No, I didn't. At
Goda.
that time, Kunjaramanam and Goda. My first film was Ennunninda Moideen, but Kunjaramanam was first release.
During Minnal Murali, we were reading around 10th or 11th draft of this movie, movie script.
So you both know each other from Ennunninda Moideen, Kootara days.
Yes.
Yes.
So what, asking you, how did you trust someone like him who's going to do his first film? Like it's his debut film. I mean, I didn't ask it like that. It's his first film and it's a huge film for someone like him to pull it off. So was it the friendship factor that like said you?
One thing, they trusted me with 3 different characters in
Yeah,
one
so
movie.
you have to give back that.
Yeah, then I should trust them. And also I know him for a very long time, and it's not a friendship, it's the passion for cinema that we share. Like even from the days of Ennunninda Moideen, every day we'll sit and discuss cinema. We have discussed many scripts. The scripts which I have heard, I asked him for an opinion, and scripts which he was working on, he told it to me for an opinion. So we kept on discussing about cinema every day, almost every day. So and the next thing is the trust.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
I cannot tell him to go make this movie and then I'll act in it. No, that's a chance that I should take, and I have to trust my instincts.
Yes.
And most of the time my instincts are right, and I think this time also it worked. It was right.
Yesterday the trailer one was launched in
yeah.
and the response has been amazing, and we all are super thrilled because this long journey. I think Jithin, I don't think he doesn't feel it like 8 years. I think he's super happy, getting all the
Finally, yeah.
responses. Not even a day I've seen him or I've heard him being low or being little dejected or anything. He kept on working. There was during COVID. I'm sure a lot of people, they would have felt, oh, okay, COVID, what are we going to do? But he didn't. He was very constant. He was, very focused that he's working on the script and he's making this film. And for that, whatever needed, he was doing it.
Okay to do that.
So every time we speak, there was a development, and it was always exciting.
In 2022, you did a film like Tallumala, which I think is one of the most Gen Z, colorful films ever to come out of Kerala, I mean, in Malayalam industry. And then you did a film like Adrishya Jalangal, where you are like unrecognizable. It's an offbeat film, if I may call it like that. So it's very difficult to put you in a box like that. This is Tovino Thomas' safe zone. And the most interesting thing about all this is that you have achieved all this by staying in your own territory. You have stayed in Malayalam industry and achieved all this. You have never went out and did other language films. You have done Mari too, right? Other than that, you haven't done any.
I've done one movie named Abhiyam Anum.
Yeah, which was shot in both languages.
It
right?
was shot in Tamil, but
Tamil.
it was dubbed into Malayalam.
Okay. So you have achieved all this in, majorly staying in the Malayalam industry itself. So how do you see that in 10 years, in 12 years, you have achieved all this? You have done 50 characters, like all are like very, very different characters in Malayalam industry itself. So how do you see that achievement?
See, I think that keeps me unpredictable. And if the actor is unpredictable, for audience it's good. They'll be able to enjoy the characters even better.
They don't know who you
they
are.
They don't
like,
know what I'm going to do. I might kill someone suddenly and become the villain of the movie. I might die suddenly and be the hero. I might get beaten up or beat people. I don't want people to think, okay, Tovino is a hero, so he'll win in the end or he'll lose in the end. No, I don't want people to decide before they watch the movie.
Especially in a film like Dear Friend and all, like that film starts with in a way that you think he is the hero, like he is the good guy in the film, and then midway it just drops like a bomb. No, that you are not.
Like all of us are different shades of grey.
Yeah.
Nobody is black, nobody is white. So I would like to explore all the shades of grey one by one.
Great. Also, I don't think any conversation with Tovino Thomas, I don't think should go without mentioning Minnal Murli.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those films which like pushed the boundaries of Malayalam cinema. I think
it pushed the boundaries of my capabilities also,
Yes.
I think. After Minnal Murli, I again felt the sense of responsibility because my movies are being watched by more number of people than before.
It was topping the charts in Netflix in several countries for weeks, right?
And after Minnal Murli, there is a considerable change in the audience who watch my movies. Non-Malayalis also came to know about an actor named Tovino, and they've started watching movies of mine. And that gave me this responsibility. I have to be more prepared. I have to work even harder. It's not the same as before. Before Minnal Murli and after Minnal Murli, it's totally different.
So, looking back, what do you think was behind the success of that film? Was it because it had a superhero trope which sells everywhere, or was it because it had that very local story which was told using an international template? So, what was behind the success of that film? Have you analyzed that?
Good filmmaking for the good filmmaking. And a combination of this, a superhero who is very much rooted, grounded. That was something new. If we had tried something very similar to the superheroes we see in Hollywood, there is nothing new in it. But this combination is only possible in India. A superhero who wears dhoti. That's only possible in India, and Basil tapped it very well. And I think it was told in a point of view of a child, and that made it work for all of them, all age categories, or everyone. It worked for them because everyone has a child inside them. The superhero element itself is unrealistic, and Basil had this realistic approach, grounded approach to it, which made it even more believable.
And you have used a lot of practical effects also in the film, right? More than we have.
I want to rely more on CGI because that might look like CGI, which we never wanted, because the only thing we wanted was people should be able to relate to this particular superhero.
Even you shooting those balloons and all were practical effects.
Yeah.
Was it
I
done
was
real?
standing very close to the balloons,
Yeah.
and that was easy. The hardest part was throwing the rings.
Yes.
And I have to throw this ring to this puttugutti, and I'm asking my sister, "What do you want? Puttugutti? Okay." And without looking at it, I could put that ring over it within 2 takes, and I was surprised.
So looking at the crew of A.R.M, I found a very interesting name in that, like of Tovino Thomas. So he is a very, all of his songs are very chartbusters in Tamil, but he hasn't done much in Malayalam, right? I mean, even though he's a Malayali, he's more popular in Tamil.
I was searching for a music director who do lesser thing, but I want this our traditional music, not so programmed thing, original instrument thing. I have a friend called, he's the singer, Harish Uthaman. So he suggested me Dibu. Then I went to his studio, and first I was initially itself I was saying him I need a Malayalam song like version of Ottayadi Padayile.
Oh, Kana.
Kana.
Kana song.
So, and yeah, now we created.
And Dibu has done a wonderful job.
Yeah, it's a film. The tones and everything is completely. If you check the teaser or trailer, it's very new in Malayalam. It's not the usual tones. We don't have that kind of music directors who can do these our rooted or Carnatic or Hindustani mix or the fusion blended, these kind of thing he can only do now.
Surabhi, I just wanted to ask you something which is not related to this film or anything. ഇപ്പോൾ കൂടുതൽ സീനിയർ വിമൺ ആക്ടേഴ്സിന് റെക്കഗ്നീഷൻ കിട്ടുന്നതായിട്ട് തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ?
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും അപ്പോൾ പഴയ കാലത്തെ അഭിനയത്തെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച് എനിക്ക് ആധികാരികമായിട്ട് പറയാനൊന്നും അറിയില്ല. ഇപ്പോഴാണ് അത് കാണുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിൽ ചില ക്യാരക്ടേഴ്സൊക്കെ കാണുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ ആഫ്റ്റർ നാഷണൽ അവാർഡ് ഞാൻ പോയിട്ട് സെർച്ച് ചെയ്യും, ഇവർക്ക് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ, ഏതിനൊക്കെയാണ് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുള്ളത് എന്നൊക്കെ. ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് നോക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കും. അതിന് മുമ്പ് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്കിത് കിട്ടിയിട്ടില്ലല്ലോ, അപ്പോൾ ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ചൊന്നും നമ്മൾ അവെയർ അല്ല. നാഷണൽ അവാർഡ് അതാർക്കോ കിട്ടുന്നു, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒരു ഇതായിരുന്നു. ഈ ആക്ടിങ്ങിലേക്ക് കുറച്ചും കൂടി നമ്മൾ ഇറങ്ങിയപ്പം ആക്ടേഴ്സിനെ കുറച്ചും കൂടി നമ്മൾ എന്താ പറയുക ശ്രദ്ധിക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങിയപ്പോഴാണ് ഇവർ ആക്ട് ചെയ്ത ഇന്ന ക്യാരക്ടർ ഏതാണ്, അതെങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുന്നു, അതിനവരെ അഡ്രസ്സ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ എന്നുള്ളതൊക്കെ മനസ്സിലാവുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഉർവശി ചേച്ചിയെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം, അല്ല എന്നെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഉർവശി ചേച്ചി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എല്ലാവരും പറയുന്നത് പോലെ തന്നെ ഒരു ലേഡി സൂപ്പർ ആക്ട്രസ് അല്ലേ. ഏത് റോളും ഭയങ്കര ഫ്ലെക്സിബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ആക്ട്രസ് ആണ്. അപ്പം അതുപോലെ അത്തരത്തിലുള്ളൊരു ആക്ടിങ് ഫ്ലെക്സിബിലിറ്റി കിട്ടണം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ആസ് എൻ ആക്ട്രസ് എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ ഞാൻ ട്രൈ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പം സീനിയേഴ്സിന് പണ്ട് ഒരുപക്ഷെ ലഭിക്കാതെ പോയിട്ടുള്ള അത്തരത്തിലുള്ള അംഗീകാരങ്ങൾ ഇപ്പോൾ കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഭയങ്കര ഹാപ്പിയാണ്. അത് ഇനിയും ഒരുപാട് പേരുണ്ട് അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആളുകൾ. അവർക്ക് ഇനിയും കിട്ടണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഒരു രീതിയിൽ ലഭിക്കണമെന്ന് ഞാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നു. ഓൾറെഡി നമ്മളുടെയൊക്കെ മൈൻഡിൽ അവർ അത്രയും വലിയൊരു സ്പേസിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ആക്ടേഴ്സ് ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ
ഉർവശി ചേച്ചിയുടെ 6th അവാർഡാണ് കേട്ടോ, സ്റ്റേറ്റ് അവാർഡ്.
എനിക്കറിയാം, നാഷണൽ അവാർഡിന്റെ രീതിയിൽ അവരെ
സീനിയർ ആയതിനു ശേഷം
സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ?
യെസ് അത് ചില ആളുകൾ വന്നിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് അങ്ങനെ ആ ഒരു സ്പേസിലേക്ക് വരുന്നതാണ്. അത് യൂണിവേഴ്സ് അങ്ങനെ വരുത്തുന്നതായിരിക്കും അല്ലേ, മേ ബി. അപ്പൊ അല്ല, ഉർവശി ചേച്ചി അത്തരം നാഷണൽ അവാർഡ് രീതിയിൽ അത്തരത്തിൽ റെക്കഗ്നൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല തോന്നുന്നു അല്ലേ?
അല്ല, ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് സീനിയർ ആയതിനു ശേഷം ഈ അവാർഡ് കിട്ടുന്നത് ഒരു ഇപ്പൊ
ഉറപ്പായിട്ടും അവരെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം അവർ എത്ര കാലത്തെ
അതെ സീസൺഡ്
OG
അതെ OG-ആണ്.
And when it comes to A.R.M, so Surabhi, എനിക്ക് ഞാൻ സിനിമ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് അല്ല. Suddenly one day I got into film.
You were in cabin crew.
Yeah, I was a cabin crew. So Surabhi, ഈ സിനിമയിൽ സുരഭി നല്ല ഫ്രണ്ടാണ്, മൈ വൈഫ് ക്ലോസ് ഫ്രണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ സുരഭി ഈ സിനിമയിൽ ഇതിൽ 3 ക്യാരക്ടർ ഉണ്ട് ടോവിയുടെ. അജയൻ, മണിയൻ, കുഞ്ഞിക്കേട്. സോ മണിയൻ്റെ പെയറായിട്ടാണ് സുരഭി ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പം സോ ദേ ഹാവ് രണ്ടുപേർക്കും ഈ കളറി എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് ഉണ്ട് രണ്ടുപേർക്കും. പക്ഷേ ദർ ഇസ് നോ കളറി ആക്ട് ഓർ പോർഷൻ ഷോർട്ടിൽ അങ്ങനെയൊന്നുമില്ല സുരഭിക്ക്. പക്ഷേ I really like the approach, how she approached that character. എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കര അത്ഭുതം.
She practiced Kalaripayat even though she didn't have any shots of Kalaripayat.
എന്തിനാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അതായത് പുള്ളിക്കാരി ഈ സീൻസിൽ അഭിനയിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഈ കളറി ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുടെ ബോഡി ലാംഗ്വേജ് വിൽ ബി ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ്.
Oh yes. Even though you are not doing it.
Yeah.
അല്ല ഇത് മണിയൻ ന്യൂസ് കളറി ആൻഡ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് എല്ലാ തരത്തിലുള്ള എന്താ പറയുക மாந்திரிக ஜாலங்க என்ன சொல்கிறேன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது. எல்லா டேலண்டும் இருக்குன்னு ஒரு கள்ளன் திருடன். அப்போ அந்த திருடன் செலக்ட் பண்ணுற ஒரு மனைவின்னு வச்சா அது எவ்வளோ இல்லையா, അവൾ എവ്വളോ തിരുടിയായിരിക്കും, എവ്വളോ കളറിയായിരിക്കും എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആ എൻ്റെ ക്യാരക്ടറിന് അതിലൊരു സീൻ പോലും ഇല്ല ഒരു കളറിപ്പായിട്ട്. വെറുതെ ഞാനൊന്ന് ട്രൈ ചെയ്തു, ജസ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് പോകുന്ന ഒരു കളറി സ്റ്റൈലിൽ ഞാനൊന്ന് വേണ്ട, ഹി റിജക്റ്റഡ് ദാറ്റ്. അപ്പോൾ അടുത്ത നെക്സ്റ്റ് മൂവിയിൽ വിൽ ട്രൈ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് എന്നെ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യിച്ചു. പക്ഷേ ഞാനത് ചെയ്തത് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ആസ് എൻ ആക്ടർ എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ എനിക്ക് വിശ്വസിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന എൻ്റെ ക്യാരക്ടറിനെ, ഞാൻ മണിയൻ്റെ വൈഫാണ്. എന്നാൽ മണിയൻ്റെ വൈഫ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സമയത്ത് അവർക്ക് അത്രയും പവർഫുൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു വൈഫാണ്. ഈക്വലി ആയിരിക്കണം അവരുടെ ഒരു ക്യാരക്ടേഴ്സ്, മണിയൻ ആൻഡ് മണിക്കം. അപ്പോൾ അവർ രണ്ടുപേരുടെ എനർജി ഈക്വലാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു എനർജിക്കാകെ ഇവർക്ക് എന്നென்ன ടാലന്റ് இருக்குന്നെല്ലാം ഇവർ സ്ക്രിപ്റ്റിൽ நல்லா எழுதி வச்சிருக்கேன். அந்த அல்ல தெளிவாக எழுதி வச்சிருக்கேன் வெள்ளம் மாதிரி. அப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நான் மணியன் கேரக்டர் எப்படி இருந்தது அது நான் படித்தது. அது படித்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் அந்த டேலண்ட் எல்லாம் எதெல்லாம் எனக்கு வேணும் എന്നുള്ളത് ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്തു. ഐ എം ബേസിക്കലി എ തിയേറ്റർ ആർട്ടിസ്റ്റ്. അതിനാൽ எப்படி കുറച്ച് അറിയും எப்படி അത് ക്യാരക്ടറിനെ അപ്രോച്ച് பண்ணணும் എന്നുള്ളത്. അപ്പോൾ அந்த மாதிரி அவருடைய டேலண்ட் எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் ഞാൻ ട്രൈ பண்ணி, அது எனக்காக அல்ல கேரக்டருக்காக. மணியனோட கேரக்டர் கொஞ்சம் கூட நல்லா இருக்கும், ഞങ്ങളുടെ பெயர் கொஞ்சம் கூட நல்லா இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு நினச்சிட்டு டெய்லி ஃபோன் பண்ணி சுஜித்தேட்டன் அண்ட் ஜிதினை கூட பேசிகிட்டே இருக்கும். இப்போ ஜிதின் அതൊന്നും வேണ്ട, இந்த படத்தில் அതൊന്നും இல்லை, அதெல்லாம் மணியனுக்கு, நீ எதுக்கு இவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்படுற. அவர் இல்லை இல்லை இல்லை. அப்போ இவங்க கொஞ்சம் கூட அது இருந்து ഞങ്ങൾ ബാക്ക് സ്റ്റോറി என்னோட தியேட்டர் டீச்சர்ஸ் கிட்ட எல்லாம் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணி நான் கொஞ்சம் கூட அதோட என்ன சொல்கிறேன் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணியாச்சு. இமோஷனலி எப்படி அந்த கேரக்டர்னை கேரி பண்ணணும் എന്നുള്ളതെല്ലാം கொஞ்சம் கூட ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணியாச்சு. ஆனால் இந்த மூவியில் எனக்கு 2 ஏஜ் ப்ளே ചെയ്യണം. ഒന്ന് വന്നൊരു 60 to 70 ആൻഡ് നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ 30 to 35 ഏജിൽ ഇരിക്കണം. അപ്പോൾ അത് നമ്മൾ നോർമലി നമുക്ക് ഒരു 10 years பேக் வரைக்கும் 10 எனக்கு போமோ தெரியாது, இருந்தாலும் ஒரு 10 நமக்கு முன்னாடியும் போகலாம். அப்போது அதுக்கப்புறம் போனோன்னா நம்ம கொஞ்சம் கூட நல்லா ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணணும். அது அவரோட லைஃப்பில் ஒரு 30 to 35 years எப்படி இருக்கும், டே பை டே எങ്ങനെ இருக்கும், அவர் மெயினாக இன்சிடென்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் எதெல்லாம் இருக்குமெல்லாம் அந்த ஸ்கிரிப்ட் முழுவன் நான் ஒரு മിനിമം ഒരു 5 times എങ്കിലും അത് പഠിച്ചിട്ട് ഇருக்கு. ഇവർ ഓരോരോ ഡ്രാഫ്റ്റ് അയക്കുമ്പോൾ അതെല്ലാം என்னென்ன കറക്ഷൻസ് இருக்கு ഓരോ ക്യാരക്ടേഴ്സിലും. എന്നാൽ എന്നോட മകളാണ് നടിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് രോഹിണി ചേച്ചി. അപ്പോൾ രോഹിണി ചേച്ചിയുടെ ക്യാരക്ടറിൽ അവരുടെ ഡയലോഗിൽ നിന്നും എനിക്ക് എന്നോட ക്യാരക്ടർ எப்படி பில்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படி அவரோட டயலாக்ஸில் தான் என்னோட கேரக்டர் இருக்கு. அஜயன் இவர் என்னோட ஹஸ்பண்ட் ஆகிட்டும் ഗ്രാൻഡ് ആയിട്ടും നടിച്ചിருக்கு. അപ്പോൾ ഇവരുടെ ഡയലോഗിലും இருக்கும் என்னோட கேரக்டர். அப்போ எல்லாவரையும் படித்து அந்த நாடு எப்படி வளர்ந்துருக்கு அதெல்லாம் படிக்கும்போது தான் என்னோட கேரக்டர் கொஞ்சம் நல்லா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அதெல்லாம் ட்ரை பண்ணியிருக்கு, நீங்கள் போய் பார்த்துடுங்க. நான் இவ்வளோ புஷ் பண்ணிடல, அதெல்லாம் நான் அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணியிருக்கு. அப்படி தேங்க்யூ.
What I wanted to say was, she's put in so much work, before she started, shooting for this. she's put in so much effort. I don't think I've thought of this perception before this, but this is a wake up call for me. I'm sure.
So basically, I think everyone in the set were not like a very mechanical job-like thing. It was like
all of
very
us had
passionate
this,
and
all of this.
Everybody owned it, and they have been doing their part very, very heartfully, and what do you say? And the whole team, technical team, and the actors, and all of them. Jithin has a knack, or that's how he is. He keeps them very, in a close limit.
Yeah.
So that becomes even more easier.
yeah, there is no hierarchy. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a collective effort by
Yeah, it's
everyone. I mean, that's how we could
Yeah,
achieve something.
I will work. We all work with the unit people, lightmen,
No,
production.
that's how we achieved something that looked impossible few years back.
Everyone worked like.
Even shooting there in the terrain where we were shooting, it was very, very difficult. It's a difficult for Tovino mostly. He used to shoot in the super hot sun, and he'll continue till the night, and in the night it'll become super cold. So he used to shoot that. And
ഒരു കാക്കയ്ക്ക് പോലും ഇരുന്ന് വിശ്രമിക്കാൻ ഉള്ളൊരു ഇടമില്ല. அவ்வளோ சூடினை பற்றி சென்னையில் வந்து பேசுறது தப்புன்னு தெரியும். இருந்தாலும் மலையாள மூவியில் அது கொஞ்சம் அப்படி இருக்கும். அந்த அளவுக்கு சூடு. ஆனால் இவரை பார்த்தாலே தெரியல, ரொம்ப அழகாக இருக்கு, ஹேண்ட்ஸமாக இருக்கு. இவர் நல்லா கருப்பாக நடிச்சிருக்கு அந்த வெயிலில். அதுக்காக நிறைய மேக்கப் போட்டிருக்கு. ஆனால் நம்ம டச் பண்ணுற சீன்லெல்லாம் இவர் சொல்லும், அதிகம் தொடாத, அவரோட தனி நிறம் வெளியே வந்துடும். அப்படி அதாவது நம்மளோட எல்லாருடைய ஹீரோ என்றது ஸ்கிரிப்ட். அது ஒரு 10 ஃபிலிமுக்குள்ள ஸ்கிரிப்ட். இது இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறது നോക്കണ്ട. ബിൽഡപ്പ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ബിൽഡപ്പ്. അത് ബിൽഡപ്പ് അല്ല, അത് ബണ്ടിൽ ഓഫ് സ്റ്റോറീസ് ആണ്. വരും.
I'm just looking at the chronology, the sequence. So you did a Minnal Murli, and then you did an Adrishya Jalakangal, and now you're doing an A.R.M. So as a reviewer from outside, if you look at it, you've gone through this superhuman effort to build a superhero. And then with Adrishya Jalakangal, there is a willful destruction of the hero persona. I mean, you're less than a common man there. You've gone through, I'm sure, a lot of changes to come to that role. And now you're building, from what you say, you seem to be building up another hero. Do you think that disrobing of the hero in between was necessary for you to build this in A.R.M.?
I mean, restricted in an image or anything. As I said earlier, for me to enjoy my profession, I need to be unpredictable. If people is having a certain image about me, then they'll expect something same all the time. I don't want that to happen. I want to surprise audience every now and then. And that's when I can enjoy this to the fullest, and I can explore more into my potential. So I think it's deliberate. Definitely it's deliberate. But that's not a plan. I choose different kind of scripts, and the order of doing it, I'm not planning anything, but it just happens. I love doing different kind of characters. Somehow that keeps me satisfied. More than the fame, more than the money, I get satisfaction when I'm able to surprise people, and when my director is happy. That's what gives me satisfaction.
Yeah, actually with Adrishya Jalakangal, you can't even tell it's Tovino without the credits.
I had to lose few kilos. I mean, in Minnal Murli I was around 80, 83, and I did Tellumala, and then I did Neela Velicham. In Neela Velicham I was around 83, 84, and the same weight I did 2018 also. But for Adrishya Jalakangal, I wanted to lose some weight. I lost around 8-9 kilos, and we don't get so much time to prepare. and I had to lose 8-9 kilos in 10-15 days. So I fast. I go on prolonged fasting, then I'll switch to one meal a day, and after a point I don't feel hungry. I eat to survive. And generally I don't feel hungry, I just love food, that's why I eat. I'll wait for lunchtime, I'll wait for my dinner time just to enjoy food. But when I'm fasting, after a point, it helps me concentrate more, it keeps me focused, and it keeps me energetic. Even on prolonged fasting, I can work out twice. I mean, I've done 48 hours fasting and I've worked out every day. So I does that and I did that and lost weight. And when I went there, my director wanted me to look different, more than weight loss. So I made this prosthetic teeth with the help of a dentist who was suggested by my makeup man, and then they wanted my skin tone to be tanned a bit. And by the time we started shooting, I looked very different, and that helped me perform better also, I think. When you do the body transformation, whenever you look into the mirror, you see that character, not Tovino. And I think that helps me, at least subconsciously, when I keeps changing my looks.
And I also think one wonderful thing about him is that, I mean, I cannot imagine being on a fast and working out twice, let alone once, even when I'm not on fast. So I think it's the enthusiasm an actor has, the approach, which drives you to do such crazy things.
Probably, but in my life I've never, even when I don't eat for a day, I've never felt hunger. I've
Okay, we get it. Fine.
heard people saying I'm feeling hungry. I've never told that I feel hungry. Even if I don't eat, I don't feel hungry. But I love food. I'm mad about food. So I eat just out of my love for food.
So I read somewhere that you use a different perfume for each film and for each character you play. So for this film, did you use 3 different perfumes for the 3 different characters? Really? And like what were they? And did the other cast members also participate in this ritual of yours in any capacity?
For Manian, it was Calvin Klein's Euphoria.
Oh, you remember it? Okay.
Dolce & Gabbana's K. And for Kunyikelu, it was
Aventus.
Creed's Aventus. So I'm obsessed with perfumes. I'm obsessed with smells generally. So I have a huge collection of perfumes, some 100 bottles at least. So I collect it, I spray it out here, keep smelling. That's one of my hobbies.